time. Probably not. But I think God uses all kinds of sequences to do His work. So it's no good or bad. But I think we realize that. But anyway, yeah, I normally don't talk that here, but man, I've thought a lot about. That's why I said, man, I'd rather dialogue with you long term.
Got the devil on my throat.
Skeptics like I was make me better.
Got blood on my hands.
And I just
the ones that I love are in danger. I'm a fallen man.
It's good. All right, let's get started. We're going to talk about module 7. So we're going to begin to put it all together, right, at this moment. We've lost our crowd, so we're talking. It's all right. We're tired. I think it's awesome. Tired. I don't know. He said him a lot. I thought Michael and Alex were like really put it out there.
So, but I'll never let you in. Got the hounds of hell chasing. My time's running thin.
Hey, well, I know the Army's ways like stand up in the back. You don't have to do that. You just need to stand up. You know, the guys have to stand up there in their offices. So if you need to stand up during this training, no problem. Whatever. If you need to sit down on the floor, sometimes I sit on the floor and it's better than me sitting in a chair. So I don't care what you need to do. So not just to stay awake, but just to be comfortable. Okay. So let's move to what we have 7 here. We're going to talk about Connect. This is a short module. We're going to try to put it all together, what we've talked about. So here's our objectives. We want to introduce you to the Connect principle, describe how to connect with a core. And then I want to talk about trust in this module. Okay? Trust is really important. So let's do our group participation, and we're just going to throw this around the room. I'll start with that table. Just somebody read that first bullet, then throw it to somebody else.
Be open.
Yep. I don't care who you throw it to. Yep.
Laugh.
Laugh.
Listen.
Don't hit each other's coffee. That almost happened.
Participate.
Participate. Yeah.
Be a student, learn core.
Yep.
You ready, James?
Somebody else?
Apply your knowledge and skills. Live core.
Good. All right, so this is what we've covered up until this point. All right, so let's just do a review, a look back. That should show 2 letter likes and 2 letter dislikes. We just covered that, right? We've covered choices. We talked about balance. In a very high level, we've talked about movement, eustress. It's now what we call good stress. And we've just mentioned and talked about our distress cycle. So that's sort of our review over the last few modules that we've covered. Moving us to Connect. And I told you earlier that it takes humility to always keep somebody else in mind, right? And we really believe the Connect principle is putting others first. And that's really difficult to do day in and day out. With that said, it's okay to say, hey, this is what I need. Sometimes we need to do that. Certain sequences need to do that more than others. I know. That's why you'll do it eventually, but not at the beginning. It'll just look bad when you do it. So this is Connect. We want you to do what others like. We want you to avoid what others dislike. We want you to be aware of how others perceive you, which is going to be our next module. Perception is really important. And then we want to customize your communication of your approach to each person. Most of us communicate one way. And we don't believe if you do that you have the best chance of connecting with other people who have different sequences. So if you do those 4 things, we believe that you will connect better. So we've talked about know yourself. We talked about knowing others. And I thought this slide was a couple modules ago. Now we're putting it together. We call that engagement. Now we're putting it together. For the best For it to connect, you work me and I work you. If we're meeting in the middle and we're working at that, we're going to connect better. So let's go to your account, because we care about practical. That's where we want to get to. We want to give practical advice to help you connect. So I want you to go to your DDP. You can read the instructions on the slide. And I just want you to pull up somebody in your squad. And there's a blue button that says connect. And I just want you to connect them. We want that junior leader to connect with that soldier. We want that chaplain to connect with that religious affairs specialist. And we want both of them to have the same amount of information. So I just want you to go through your likes and dislikes of that person and just read them. And look at that advice that we're trying to tell you. We're just giving you like 3 or 4 things. None of those are comprehensive. That's not a comprehensive list. We could have wrote maybe 8 or 9. But that's why I have 8 or 9. We just need to work on this. I mean, we're going to be updating this. And so every time that we update, you're going to get new material from us. But we want that person to connect with you too through your Connect account. So what's just one thing that we've given you advice for that you said, yeah, that's probably right. What's one thing? Could be under likes, could be under dislikes. We haven't got to communication yet. If you look under the practical advice that we give you guys, like what's one thing that would be accurate? That we give you advice either to do to that person or that person to do to you. Will?
Rob, mine's super easy because I was working with my wife and you guys tell me that I should help clean up the house.
Okay.
So does she, so it works out pretty well.
That's hilarious. Okay, good. She's like, I've been telling you that for years, right? Somebody else. That's good. Just want you to get to know the information that's there. What's something that's accurate about that? Yeah.
My daughter, Sydney, one of the things that I should do with her is be on time. And I do notice that she does get anxious when we're running late. Family of 6.
Good. Oh, last day, that could be challenging. Somebody else. We're trying to stay practical here.
So I had my religious affairs specialist take this, and one for me to be, for him, is be upbeat and optimistic. 'Cause he's in EOCR. He's always upbeat.
It's this guy right here.
Yep.
That sequence right here.
He's always singing and stuff. I don't know why.
What kind of clothes does he wear outside of uniform? They look like this right here. All right, somebody else. Good. Religious service specialist. What's something else? Just look at it.
So my boss back there, according to this app, likes time alone in calm environments. And so one of the things that I probably need to do is make sure we get back to the Q2 time.
Is that right, Brian? Those things about you?
Yeah. And my excellent deputy will come in and close my door and then beat people off.
Cool. It's a good deputy. It's great. Great example. We're trying to be practical here, right? What else that you see? Anybody else? That's what we want you to pay attention to, is the practical stuff. That's where we live. That's what's going to help you connect. So look at this. Somebody read this list. Read this quote, small quote. This is from ADRP 6-22. What does it say? What does the Army tell us? That's what the Army's telling us. Right? What we're telling you at CORE is that if you do likes and you stay away from dislikes, I believe that you'll develop trust. Because it's through everyday practical things, where we live, boots on the ground, rubber meets the road. Do what you just did to your boss. It matters. So this is what I want you to do. I want all of my OR and RO people to come over here, and I want you to meet in a circle. Okay? RO, OR. Right over here. There's only like 3 of you. I need my CE and EC group. There's only 2 of you, I think. Meet over there. All my OC, COs meet where Jeff them are right there. I don't have any ER. You're the only EO that we have, so you're the only group. Oh, you get, no, there's another one. OEEO. And I have a CRRC. Bobby and you, Alex, can I call on you 3 to go through these questions just for the class sake so we can understand how y'all would answer that? Brian and Alex and Bobby. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go through these questions as a group. Some of you will get done with this quicker. Others will talk maybe. I want you just to answer that questions personally. Just personally, okay? And I want you to look at the sequence that's talking. Now, I've grouped you into groups. I don't necessarily think that all of you are going to answer it the same way. You may not, depends. But I want you to go through the bullets, and then I want you to respond back to the class about sort of how you answered or what your group sort of answered, okay? So just do those questions right there. Yeah. Do I look okay? I seem relaxed. He told us. Hey, Joe, Joe, shut me down. Can you turn me off? Hold on. Yep. crosses your belief,
Yeah, it does. And
what
I'm
you
saying,
value.
Yeah, how do you get to be in the office? I'm not
I
trying
have,
to be
I have some chaplain friends who are big drinkers.
I mean,
I'm not talking about alcoholics, but big drinkers. I have another. Hey, Michael. Oh, I'm ready. Okay, Joe. All right, let's report back. You guys done with your group? Okay. So just stay in your groups for a minute, and I just want you to have a spokesperson to sort of give a summary. Yeah, stay in your group if you don't mind. Just give a summary of, let's just take one bullet at a time, all right? So trust, the Army just told us trust is lost in daily actions, right? Yeah. Trust is lost in daily actions. Army just told us that in their leadership manual. So I believe daily actions and choices comes out of people's sequences. And I believe your first two letters of your sequence is what you need and value the most. So I just want you to answer the questions. So we'll start with the ORRO group. How did you guys answer the first question? Either individually or collectively. What was your answer?
It's pretty unanimous that trust is given.
Okay. Next.
Same here, given.
Okay, next. Okay.
We said yes to both.
Okay.
Assumed and earned.
Did y'all say yes to both or no? So you said that you give trust.
We said it's easily assumed, but also easily lost.
How is it lost with your group? Now I'm on question 4. Oh, let's jump to the fourth bullet really quick. How does your group trust is lost? I'll get to that one. You didn't have enough details. Okay.
Mentioned dishonesty.
Okay. So if earned, what does the person have to do to earn your trust? Y'all said given or earned? Okay. Okay, how does that look for your group or individually? Everybody listen up if you don't mind. Listen. Oh, hold on, let me get you. I forget. I know, hold on. I know you're trying to avoid that. Go ahead.
So we discussed and we talked about that we do give, but we give a little bit, and as we see their trustworthy, good character, they begin to earn the rest of our trust.
Okay.
And how we didn't talk also how that's lost also, and that's dishonesty, right, and lack of character in that part, that then they lose that trust.
Okay. Mark, what was your OC? How did you answer that?
Well, I'm going to give it at first, and then I'm kind of like over here that through observation, watch and see if you maintain it.
Okay.
One-handed, how you like that? Cool. So for me, I was just telling UConn that I trust people up to a certain extent, and they have to earn the rest of it. I'm not going to tell you my deepest, darkest secrets when I first meet you. That's just not going to happen. But I will tell you. I will tell you about me. I'll tell you. I'll be open with you so that we can make that initial connection. And then as we make that connection, and you show me that you're trustworthy, I'll give you more.
Okay.
So it's both.
UConn, you say anything or no?
No, mine was different.
That's okay. If you're
Oh, I
different.
thought he was still the spokesperson.
No. I believe you can be different here.
For me, trust is assumed. My life is an open book. I give you everything. The trust is lost whenever you go against the grain. If I give you everything, and then you go against the grain, then you lose that trust. And what happens when you lose that trust? I don't cut you off. We can sit at the table together, but we definitely won't be eating together.
What's your first letter?
E.
E, O. What's your first letter?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, wait, hold on. You gotta throw it over. Go, go. Hey, oh! Almost scored, and we lost that. All right, here we go.
All right. Were you,
Joe, it
were you looking
finally
to try out for the
happened. We had
Bills or
fun.
something?
I know, we did. All right, go ahead.
So we talked, Mike said something about, there's a level of trust, but I'm not going to trust you with my deepest, darkest secrets. And then there was like, well, yeah, there is no level of trust that
As
gets
a
you
group.
there.
Zero. Yeah.
So the variation on that.
Yeah, perfect. Great, great, great. So did you guys hear what they said as a group? Y'all all agreed on that one, right? Sort of? Okay, go ahead. Next. Yep, next.
So we said as a group, to earn trust, it would have to be consistent behavior that had us given that trust. And then, as I thought about this, for myself, it's going to look different with different relationships, right? Like if I just meet,
Me.
a car salesman for the first time,
Right.
that level of trust might be different
Yep.
than, I meet my religious affair NCO for the first time. I'm going to immediately give them a higher level of trust, but in that other relationship, it would have to be earned. Anything you'd like to add, friend?
Yeah, we agree completely. And then the lost, right? So how would you lose trust? It's going to be the behaviors. If you're dishonest, if you're duplicit, you're trying to tell me one thing and then you tell JD something totally different about the same thing. I'm going to start questioning you, or your behavior just consistently shows, hey, sorry, I can't trust you now. And then we're going to get real quiet, and we may sit at the same table, but I may not eat while you're sitting there.
Okay. You avoid them, right? All right, let's get back together. Let's get back together as a group. Y'all can go sit down. I'm sorry. Let's sit. Oh, hold on. We got one group. I forgot about that group. My CRRC group. All right, here we go.
Okay, so we had CR, me and Bobby. Trust is assumed. Brian, RC, trust is earned. If you earn, what did you got to do to earn trust? You got to display competency with him. He needs to know you have good motives. He needs to know why. And if you have bad motives, you're out. How do you lose trust, or when trust is lost, how does that happen? So me and Bobby, we were talking more about, hey, when people are rude or selfish, self-centered, those kind of motives, selfishness really begins to cause us to say, hey, no, we don't think you're trustworthy. And then Brian said when a person is incompetent and shows that they're incompetent, and if there's decisions being made where he, like with Kelly, if Kelly makes big decisions without including him in the process, or at least that knowing that there's been a good sound process that was followed, kind of sprung on him. There's a big decision. Like I came home and the house is recarpeted or repainted or something. And then do you give a second chance? We said when trust is lost, so what happens? So we all said we give folks a second chance. That's as far as we got. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so we have this RCCR combo, RCCR. Okay, let's sit down before we finish. I just want to make some practical comments here, because I think it's really important. The Army spends a lot of time talking about trust. We spend a lot of time talking about trust. But one thing I really want to know if you're in my squad is how do I break your trust? I want to know that. Because if you have broken trust, what happens? What was the last part? Who said that? So Darren, you're OR. Yes, I'm trying. Hey, Darren, talk to me practically as a leader of what you need your people who work for you to do. Just real practical things. I'm just going to write them down. Huh? Uh-huh. I'm putting you on the spot too, but I think you. Okay, let's back up. Okay. All right. Be, no, do. Here we go. Yep. It's okay. Let's go with it. Yep. Okay. It's all right. Trust is subjective. Based on individuals. Okay. So what about do part? How do you rate your chaplains? Top block, 1 to 4. Hold on. Let me throw you this down. Because all leaders rate people, right? Based on something.
They're competent.
Competent.
They are thorough.
Thorough. THOROUGH, is that right?
I believe so. And they are competent, skilled, but that's along with competent. Skills are sharp.
And that could be 3 or 4 different things, I would say.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
Anything else? I'm just putting you on the spot there.
I'm thinking through like nurture, care, honor. They and PT, all of that, physical, mental, emotional. Excellent. Not perfect, excellent. Strive for excellence.
Josh, would you add anything to the do list? Josh's OR, just asking, based on what he started. Not under the B part. I think the B part can be all over the board with sequences. I think we can agree, all different sequences can agree here, because it has to do with what we value and what we believe. But on the do part, I'm interested in. Or Michael, your OR.
You're just, yeah.
I mean, they got to deliver consistent. They're on time sometimes and they're not, or they're thorough, but then they're not, then that doesn't work.
Okay, that's not your list. I mean, he added something. Anything else on your list?
I like people who are straightforward. You say what you do and do what you say. I think that's trustworthy, and yeah, don't make me guess if I'm the boss.
Yeah. Good. So I'm just giving you an exercise of what to do with your people and your team. It could be your spouse, it could be your children, or they know you, or I know you. Because if the Army says, hey, trust is gained or lost in daily actions, it's either going to end up hitting your B section or your do section, most likely. Right? How many people said honesty in your group? Like that was something that you listed. Who raised your hand? OR group did. OC group did. OC. Anybody else say honesty? Anybody else say like a value of what Darren called a B? What else was an honesty, a trust issue?
We talked about being like someone being self-serving, the real problem, and also we noticed taking advantage of others.
Cool. Yeah, I have really found that to be true with a bunch of C groups. Not saying that C last people never say that, but I think this end of self-serving crosses this. It just really turns us off. I mean, it's just a cross. Anybody else have a B that you guys talked about trust? That would be more of a B versus a do.
Integrity.
Okay.
Integrity, doing what you say you're going to do.
Okay. Yeah, I think that OR people, old people like me, I mean, your word's good. My word used to be no good with Stephanie. And the truth probably is I may not be at 100% right now. But before I became active duty Army, I lived 1 mile from where I worked. I'd be like, hey, I'll be home in 15 minutes. And how long was it when I got home? Hour. So if I said that over and over and over again, was my word good? Was I a man of integrity? No. I think a lot of times we talk about integrity has to do with like moral stuff. I think we lose our word, but we just don't do what we say. And I lost my integrity with my wife. Like what I said is no good. She doesn't believe me. I know that I'm going a different route than what you were talking about, but
That's exactly what I was talking about.
cool.
Do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah. So trust. It's here. If I ask JD, if I ask your group, what are the do things? What would y'all have said? It has to do with trust. Not the be things, but the do things. Did y'all talk about that? Well, I didn't ask that question, so it's probably just coming back. It's okay. If I'm really, as a double heart sequence, if I continue to be unkind to him and rude and criticize you, and I do all those dislikes that we gave you, would you trust me? So my daily actions, I would lose my trust. Now, you may have to work for me, but it'd be like that pastor on the phone. Like, oh. So the Army told us our trust is given in daily actions. I think we really need to hone in. I think it's a great statement. I believe that statement. And we're trying to give you some practical advice with CORE, like, hey, this is what you do to build trust. I think trust is what you like and dislike. It's how you connect. It's really simple. I think we make trust this big concept. And I'm trying to say, how do we take this big thing and bring it down to like where I live every day? And that's what the Army told us in that phrase. I've talked to a good amount of leaders in the Army, and I've asked them that question. It's really interesting to hear them talk and know their sequence and say, this is what I value, this is what I need. And then I've gone back and they've shared with me who they've rated and why. That's huge insight for me. Because if we have who they rate as insight or sequence, then you can sort of see how it may connect. So don't hear me say that I have a commander friend, Mark, you live in Memphis. Mark has a house in Memphis. Have an ECRO commander who got a top block from his ROCE commander. I say the opposite. You better not prototype, you better not type anybody. This guy had great interpersonal skills. Excellent. Came out of the soft community. He's still a commander in the Army. But if I take this sequence and take it over the other 300 senior leaders or 500 senior leaders that I've done, I did 182 at Fort Hood in 2010. Every senior leader at Fort Hood, I sat down one-on-one with. That was my job for a year. I know a 06 colonel, chaplain, who's this sequence. But you know what both of them told me? We struggle with what? What do you think it is? Just based on letters. Both of them said it. But they're smart enough to do what? I have another colonel chaplain who I know called Bobby Whitlock. Where's his O? Bobby, is that something that you like to do as details?
I can, but I don't.
Takes your energy out of you, doesn't it? So, trust matters, right? So I just want to get you to thinking about who you are, what your home squad is. How do you build trust with your children? How are you losing or building trust with your wife or your husband? How are you building and losing trust with your family? How are you building or losing trust with your religious affairs specialist? And some of us can just be ourselves every day and not know that we're losing trust even though they're on our team. Because some of us don't tell other people about what we feel and think. We're not direct like Josh needs me to be. Josh would end up saying, man, why didn't you just tell me that 3 months ago, right? I'd have fixed it, right? Josh is pissed at me because I didn't tell him. Right? So trust. Trust is important in connecting. So I'm going to close with this. If you don't have trust or you're losing trust, you're on your way out of connecting. So if I talk to a husband and a wife and I said, hey, and this is an open-ended question, say, hey, how much do you trust your wife? And he'll be like, well, depending on the sequence, what compartment are you talking about? Money, blah, blah, blah. I said, let's just give an overall score. And I trust her as a 3. And I do this. And I ask her, how much do you trust him? She says a 9. You think that's a good relationship? And I said, hey, why don't you read how much you trust each other? And he reads, I trust you a 3. How do you think that goes? It does, every time. But is that something we need to talk about? I don't really care what the number is. I mean, I do it as an indicator, but then I want to say, hey, where is that area? So I want you to understand how you develop trust, or give trust, assume trust, earn trust, and how is it lost? Put that into practical words where you can tell your family and they can tell you how that works. It's really important. Just make it practical. Any questions about trust? Yes. Hold on.
It's 2 parts, actually, 2-part question. The whole time we were doing this, I just keep associating it with respect. And so, one, are there certain sequences that are where respect is more important than other sequences? And then the second part would be, do you see a correlation with how we answer these questions to how a person determines whether or not they earn their respect?
Yes. Yeah. So let's go to your first question, which was what?
Is respect more important
Oh, yeah.
in certain sequences than others?
Yeah. So this is one small group of, do you need people to respect you? Yes. Respect you? Yeah. Yes. Michael, they need to respect you? Yeah. Need to respect you? RO? Have another RO in the room? There's 5 of you. Brian, do you need people to respect you? Well, that's one group. Male or female? I'm going to get the same answer. So I don't believe that women need love and men need respect. I believe that certain sequences need respect, male or female.
Well, that played out last night. I think we had 3 ladies that were your
We did. We had 3. We had 3 ladies. And there's some of you, I mean, they're all your spouses. Some of you men think that your women need love and you are totally disrespecting them. You should go home and ask that question that I just asked you. Great comment. Yeah. So that will be one. Hold on. Do you need respect? You need respect. Do you need respect? EOOE. You need respect or love? I like them both. Okay. Where would you lean? We're just polling. I'm just taking a small, like 11 people, right? We're taking a small group.
I like to be loved. There you go.
Okay. Everybody give him a hand, right? I know, it's good. I know. And he has an R-O-R wife. So here's something interesting. I'm about to change the question, and I want y'all to listen to him. How do you lose respect for people?
Didn't we talk about this earlier? Like kindness. When people are crass.
Go to your dislikes under C and E. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm trying, yeah. Oh. I told him to go to his dislikes. So I'm saying, how do you lose respect for people? My first question is, what do you need, love or respect? And he finally said, what? That's right. And okay, now I'm saying, how do you lose respect? And I believe you're going to see similar answer based on sequence. If I take 100 of these, I'm going to end up getting 80 to 90% the same.
So it says constant rudeness, criticism, being overloaded with detail, and being told what to do. Being told what to do.
So would you?
Criticism, rudeness.
That answer your question? Yeah. Yeah. So, excuse me. So, yeah, Darren. Hold on.
Sorry for perception.
All right, we're about to get there. Yep, that's all right.
What do you mean when you say melodramatic?
Okay, hold on. We're
I'm
about to
sorry.
teach a perception module next.
My bad.
Right. No, it's good. We're going to go right there, right there. Right. Because we talk about how to connect, you end up likes, avoid dislikes, understand perceptions, and customize communication. Right. So to answer your question, I think we just sort of took that. That was a population of 12 people. Right. So if you just sort of begin to magnify that and look at it, I believe you're going to see it comes out.
We love you, JD.
Cool. Hey, that's great. Your brigade chaplain knows that about you. Y'all can make a heck of a team together. You need him. You need him. And he needs your sequence for some things that you do better at than he does. And you need his sequence because he does some things better than you do. And if you can both begin to value that other sequence and see what they bring to the table, your team would be way stronger. So, all right. So if we connect, we build trust. Any questions about that module? All right, let's take a 5-minute break. Let's take a 5-minute break, a real 5 minutes. We're going to come back and talk about perception.
It's hard to just listen, but I'm making my case. Know that I'm fine. I can't keep from I am a man in need of constant revival. Jesus, come quickly, I need you for my survival. Like flowers need sunlight, oceans need high tide. Like men need long life, no they ain't right. Like lions need their pride, it's a matter of your time. I need you for one sound. Know that I'm found. I can't keep from hiding. Don't have a soul, but I get stuck deciding. I am a man in need of constant revival. Jesus, come quickly, I need you for my